boy. Oh, that's right. I forgot about this part. I forgot to do once again. I'm horrible at this. I shouldn't be allowed to run this Twitch channel alone. I need like supervision or something. I'm always forgetting. Update the tags. Kerbal Space Program. That's a good one. Let's also put in Kerbal. And let's put in Kerbals. There we go. Alright. Tags and game updated, as well as stream title. With Kerbal Space Program. Here we are. Hey, look, it's Jeb. Hi, Jeb. Munar Bust. We're gonna start a new save. In career mode. Let's take a look at the options. We're gonna change difficulty. And what we want to do is we want to come all the way down into these right here. This is where we want to be. Alright, so this is where you change the actual difficulty. There's nothing else that you do matters, but it's up here in the career options. This is going to change how hard the game actually is going to be for you. You don't want that. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to, because they didn't really balance this too well, we're going to double fund finance rewards, triple science rewards. Alright, that should be good. Okay. Save. Career mode. Save name. Save name. Save name. Let's edit name. And we will call this, stream file. Just to keep it easy. Nice and simple. And let's go. Alright, Gene, that's nice. I already know what you have to say. There's nothing you can do. I'm not a master of this game. But I do know what I'm doing. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna come here. We're gonna gather scientific data. And we are going to launch our first vessel. And that should be all that we... Yeah, you can see up there, right under the text field under Gene Kerman at the top, it says up there, Active Contracts 2, Max 2. And you can see here we have R2. So, our first things that we're doing for the Kerbal Space Program. We are going to gather scientific data from Kerman, and we are going to launch our first vessel. And how are we going to do that, you may ask? Well, we are going to take the Mark 1 command pod, and we are going to put a parachute on it. Right here, like that. Oh, that looks so snazzy. Look at that there. Okay. So yeah, that's how you build stuff in this game. It's a very intuitive thing. As you can see, everything over here, pods, fuel tanks, engines, command and control. It's all very intuitive. As long as you have, you know, some degree of, you know. So yeah, we're going to do that, and we're going to come here. We're going to grab an engine. We're going to take an engine. It's all point and click. You click on the thing you want to put on the thing. Over here, though, this is most important. This down here, this is our staging. And there is a very famous saying in this game's community: check your staging. So as you can see there, we had the parachute, which is being we highlighted over here in the staging tab, and it highlights the part. We had the engine and the parachute in the same stage, and you don't want to do that, because you know what's going to happen if you do that? They're both going to go off at the same time, and in the order from bottom to top that they are in, technically. So it's like split-second differences. So like they'd both be going off at the same time, but the engines would fire first and then the parachute. But we want to take the engine out of our parachute stage and give it its own little engine stage down here. So you can see we have stage 1 and we have stage 0. The higher number the stage is, the sooner it will fire in when you go to higher number mean first in line. And so now we got parachute and we got engines separated. So now let's come over here and let's get some stability. And down here you can see I cycled symmetry. I cycled it over to 3 because I'm going to want 3 of these. But I am also going to come over here to science, where I got this little guy right here, the mystery goo containment unit. A very, very useful thing. We can just take this and we can put all 3 of them right there like that. And now we got everything we need. So to get going, we have an engine, and to get stopping, we have a parachute. And to get sciencing, we have 3 units of mystery goo. So now we're going to go right on ahead, and the next thing we're going to do is, instead of having it oriented that way, we're going to orient that way. Yeah, I like that. We want to be oriented that way, and you'll see why in just a moment. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here, and instead of Jeb, we're gonna be feminists, and we're gonna send Valentina Kerman, because this is about sending cat girls into space. And as a trans feminine cat girl, I am an expert, and I know that Valentina Kerman herself actually happens to be a cat girl, whether you believe it or not. I know you don't believe me, but I know what I'm talking about. So we next thing we'll do, we'll come over here. We will rename our vessel, and we will call this the Mark 1 prototype. Because I feel like it. There we go. So the Mark 1 prototype is all set and ready to go. You know what? No. We're not going to call it that. I always call stuff that. We're going to name this one Susan. Just because I feel like it. We're calling it Susan. There. Its name is Susan. Hi, Susan. Look at you. You are just a beautiful vessel, aren't you? All right, so we have a vessel. We have a pilot. All we gotta do now is just go to launch. Okay, here we are on the launch pad. Now, what we want to do is we're going to come here, and instead of heading to the crew hatch, we're gonna. Okay, so if you are playing on the console version, you're gonna press square on the PlayStation, X on the Xbox, and if you are on PC, you will right click it, and it'll bring up this little menu over here. Then what you want to do with that is you want to come down. Go down. Down to crew report. We're going to do one. Yay! Now you can see why I tripled science rewards, can't you? 1.5 science for recovering that. You're not going to get very far on 1.5 science. Just saying. So, we're going to keep that. And you know what else we're going to do? We're going to come over here on this side, and we're going to observe the goo. And let's see what the goo gets. The goo gets us 3 science if we recover it. But because we tripled it, it's going to be 9. Right? And then there's one more thing we can do. Watch this. We'll come over here, and we'll highlight it. Okay, watch this. We're going to highlight it so that way we get crew hatch, and then we're going to hit square, or X, or right click. We're going to hit EVA. Oh my goodness, she can come out. All right, so now what we're going to do? No. We're going to come into her thing, and we're going to take an EVA report. And you can see an EVA report actually does yield more science than a crew report. So we're going to do that. We're going to keep that, and then what we're going to do next is I'm going to take a mystery goo. I'm going to pin it. You see this little icon up here in the corner of the little box thing that we got going on right here? What you're gonna do? You're gonna pin that, and then if you're playing on console, you'll click left stick, because if you click left stick by doing L3, that brings you in and out of cursor mode. So in cursor mode, you can go ahead and you can do whatever you like. You aren't going to affect the vessel at all. But when you come out of cursor mode, all of a sudden you can do stuff. Like you see right there. I'm turning the SAS off and on and off and on and off and on and off. But we're gonna turn it on because we want to use that. And now what we're gonna do is we are going to launch. We're gonna bring back the cursor. We're gonna observe the goo. We are going to keep that experiment. Now we don't need to do that anymore. So now what we're going to do, we're going to try to use our control surface to maybe level out a little bit. Here we go. And we're just going to keep going. Look at us go. We are going all right. Oh, I forgot to do a thing. But it's okay. We're fine. It's just I should have when I was on the when I was on that EVA, what I should have done was I should have collected the crew report from the Mark 1 command pod. Because then what I could have done is I would have been able to take a crew report while in flight. But because I didn't, means we can't. So since we can't take another crew report, we're just going to have to be satisfied with a oh wait, that's not going to open up until 500 feet. Oh no, it's set for 1,000 as a default? Yeah, it works. And there we go. Now, we are going to turn... Oh, what? What are you doing? Why are you all going like that? Did I? I did. Aww. I set trim. That's why it was holding backward. The way it was holding off on the angle like it was. Yeah, it was holding up. It was set because I set trim to pull up, and I didn't do it intentionally. Let's roll over, so that way Val doesn't drown when she gets out. Okay, there we go. No, not like she could drown, but all right. Now we're gonna take this, and you'll see our status where we're located has changed, we are no longer at getting the environment for being at the space center on the launch pad. We are now getting observation from Kerbin's water. You can see that's like 4 science. I'm pretty sure that's going to end up being 12. Next, what we'll do is we'll take the crew hatch again and we'll get her outside. And now, Val, what you're going to do for me, give me that nice little EVA report. 3.2, as you can see, that also is worth more now that we're further away from from the space program. And we're going to take the data that's there. Then we're going to go back in. And then we are going to come here. And we are going to take another crew report. Isn't that neat? Now that we've done all the stuff that we want to do, all the stuff that we needed done is done. We're touched down, we're landed on Kerbin. Very important that it's landed on Kerbin. We can recover the vessel, and that'll take us to the recovery screen. Isn't that neat? $40 science, oh boy. Look at all of that, look at that, look at that, look at that. We got money back. If you look right here, you see this here is telling us positive funds. That's because we recovered the command pod intact. We recovered the Mark 16 parachute intact. The solid fuel booster was recovered intact, and the mystery goo containment units were all recovered intact, so we got some money back on that flight. That is just amazing. Not only that, you also get money for whatever fuel you didn't expend. So you see down here where the SF, that stands for solid fuel, because we were using a solid fuel booster. And we used all the fuel out of that, so we didn't get any money back at all. But we didn't touch our monopropellant because we don't even have anything to use it. We don't have any of the omnidirectional controls units that you need to actually be using monopropellant, except for the ones that are on the Kerbal space suit itself, which we couldn't do because we don't even have the ability to do an EVA off when we're not touched down. To do that, we're going to have to upgrade the astronaut complex. And if we look at the science, you can see here on science, 2 science from that, 3.2 from there, 1.5, 2.4, 3, 4, 7, 5, and it all added up to 28.1 science earned. You would not be anywhere near that much. So it wasn't that the reward that we saw, and this is news to me. This is not how I thought it was working. I thought it was working the other way. When I was in that menu before we started, and I said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna triple the science reward and double the financial rewards." I was under the impression that the number that you see on the thing on the report page for the experiment that you ran, I thought that number was going to be multiplied by the science multiplier, but it turns out that no, it is the total. The total is what's displayed there. So that 1.5, that 2.4, those were all affected by the multiplier that I established. So, yeah, we're doing good. There we go. We got Valentina back. We didn't earn any reputation for that, which is kind of sad. But here we go. We're ready to come back over here, and we look and we see. Look, our active is empty again, but our archive has those 2 missions that we pulled to start with, right here. And they're done. So we picked up 2 science off of these for having completed them. So now we can look into maybe escaping the atmosphere. And if we can escape the atmosphere, if we have that capability to escape the atmosphere, it is very likely that we would also have the capacity to establish a stable orbit in Kerbin space. So, how are we going to do that with a solid fuel booster? Well, I don't feel like doing it off of solid fuel boosters. Instead, I want to come in here to the Research and Development Facility. That's what this thing is called. Research and Development Facility. So we're going to come in here, and we're going to look. We're going to look around, and we're going to see. This right here has 5, 10, 35. Which I think is absolutely perfect. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take Engineering 101. We're going to take Basic Rocketry. And we're going to take General Rocketry. And we'll talk about all of that stuff once we get back into the Vehicle Assembly Building. The VAB. A place we spend more time than anything else. At least back home. So, what are we going to do here? Let's see. So, that would be upper atmosphere. This one here would do upper atmosphere. This one here would do orbit. And then this one here would do after landing, if it's worth it. So, I think what we'll do instead is we'll change the number of these that we have. We're going to change that to 2. And we're going to get rid of that. Take that off. Get rid of that. Thank you. And what we're going to do is we're going to come down here into coupling, and we're going to take ourselves a nice little TD12. Slap that down on the bottom. And now, when that what we can now, that's a stack separator. So what that's going to do is that's going to let us detach the command pod from everything below it in the stack. And what are we going to have below it in the stack? We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. Topping a swivel. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come here to coupling. We're going to take this. We're going to come down, and we're going to put it right there, so that way we have another one. Now we want this engine to fire at the exact same time that we take, that we hit the separator, decoupler. Was it separator or decoupler? It is decoupler. Okay, so yeah, we want the engine to go off at the exact same time that we hit the decoupler. Now you'll see down here that we got 13.11 meters per second of delta V. You have no idea what I'm talking about. Unless you're like watching this because you know how to play Kerbal, so you already know how to do this stuff. You know that this means that this, if we were to take this rocket as it is right now, we put it out on the launch pad and we hit launch, it will accelerate to 1,311 meters per second. Delta V is change in velocity. So we can change our velocity by 1,311 meters per second on that stage alone. Now that may sound like a lot, but we got to get up like 22,000. We got to get like 2,200 just to establish an orbit. So we would actually like I think it ends up being once you've been through the atmosphere. Usually when we're doing these things, we don't take the atmospheric drag into account, which I've tried to. It's not fun. 2, 3, 4. We'll do 4 of those, plus a Reliant. Now you see we got 2,539 meters per second of delta V. And we're starting to get, okay, so you see these thrust to weight ratios right here, this TWR. And you can see this one, this stage up here has like almost it's quite a bit less, but almost 3 times as much thrust to weight ratio as, you know what, no, I'm not doing this. I am not doing the equations, okay? That is not me. I am not a rocket scientist. I am an amateur. You caught me. I know what this stuff is, but I don't know what it is. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna seal off that stage. Okay. So we have 2 liquid stages right now. And what we're gonna do next is we're going to take this thumper solid fuel. We're gonna stick it right down there. Should we do the thumper? What's your burn time? Oh, you only got 702. Oh, and you're too heavy, aren't you? Yeah, that's too heavy. Oopsies. Although, no, I don't have radial decouplers. That makes me sad. So I think what we'll do instead is, since the thumper's too big, we'll take the hammer. We'll see how much, what's the thrust to weight on the hammer? 142, that works for me. But we don't really have much control. And I don't really have any really effective control modules available. Like, the most effective command, like when it comes to orienting your craft and making your craft point the way you want it, there is nothing more powerful for you to do that than the stuff that's going to fill up this tab here. But we don't have anything in this tab here. The only thing we have are these basic fins, and all that we're really going to get out of basic fins is just balance. So I'll show you what I'm talking about when I say balancing. We're gonna add on the aerodynamic overlay. You see, we get this pretty blue sphere here. And you see how it looks. That's the way it is. That's a beautiful blue little sphere. The next thing that comes to balancing our craft is the actual center of mass. And so here you see the relation of the blue sphere to the yellow sphere is how you know whether or not you're going to have control of your craft. So what we're going to do first is we're actually going to, just for a split second, we're going to take this off. And we're going to do this the oldest of fashionable ways, where we are going to have basic fins on each stage, helping us to stay oriented the way we want to in the atmosphere. And because those are going to help us do that. So we'll take this off for now. Alright, so now then, to get that stage balanced the way I want, we can just go ahead and we can just put these on right there, and you can see up here, if we put these up here like this, it's not going to go nicely for us. If we have it here dead center, it'll be very well balanced. But what we want more than anything else is we want to have it down slightly, just a little bit, right, like maybe down there. We want them right in the, we want our center of our aerodynamic overlay to be like right there in the bottom half right there. I think I got a little bit of it sticking out. Yeah, like that right there. That's very good for the kind of launch that we're doing, where we're doing a vertical launch. And we'll put that there. And now we're going to try to bring, yeah, if you see, we can put these right down there. And then if we take these and we put this on right there, you can see that if we're actually going to have to move these fins up a bit, and there we go, we're balanced. We are all balanced. So now we should have enough, because you look at our now, I mentioned atmospheric drag. There is all kinds of stuff that affects your overall delta V. One of them is whether or not you are in the atmosphere. Watch what's going to happen to our stage 2 when I tell it to go from being in Kerbin at an altitude and to being on Kerbin in a vacuum. Boom. We just picked up another 300 meters per second. And then stage 3 picked up another 200-ish? Yeah, a little bit more than 200. Yeah, just a little bit more than 200 meters per second on the Reliant stage. And the solid fuel stage is not gaining quite as much. It's because the liquid fuel engines are most efficient. All of them are at peak efficiency outside of atmosphere until you start getting to the very late game engines, the kind of stuff that you're going to be using to go to like Lathe and to Eve. But we're not that far yet. We're just trying to establish a nice happy orbit. So since that's what we're trying to do, looking at this with altitude, it looks like we should have enough. But I'm not satisfied. I'm going to over-engineer. And in doing so, I am probably going to make this not so good. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take another 3 of these, and we're going to put them down here, right, I think right there. That way, that'll serve as like the. That'll serve as like standing legs, so that way, you know, we're not gonna topple over. And because we want all of those to go off at the same time, we're gonna put that little cluster there like that, and you can see we now have 3,000. Oh, but we are mass. The mass is too heavy, so I think what we're going to do. So the last thing we're going to do, we're going to come here, we're going to get more fins to rebalance, and we're going to rebalance like this, I think. What we're going to do is we're going to, I think if we start up here, then we'll take more and put them here. Then we can think about how far down we want them to go, because I do want that to be in the spot. So let's try there. And let's try you there. Oh, you're not where you need to be. So let's put these, let's go down a little bit more. Bring this one down a little bit more with it there. Oh, we're still off. We're still off. This needs to go, what, right there? That far? Yeah. Yep, that's how we want those fins to be. Alright, so now that we have our aerodynamics in our center of mass, we should be good. We should be good to go. The only thing we need to do is we are too heavy for our launch pad. So what we're gonna do is we're going to return to the Space Center. We're going to save and continue. And we're going to upgrade our launch pad for, how much is it? 50 grand to pull this off. Oh my goodness. Well, let's do it. Alrighty. We upgraded our launch pad. And now we should be able to launch our craft. Oh, we got 6 parts more than we are allowed. So here's what we'll do. We're going to try shedding parts in an appropriate manner. Starting with these 3 on the central hammer. We're going to go ahead. We're going to take that off. And then we're going to take those off. And then we're going to take these. And I think these are actually going to end up being the last part we can put on. So let's take a look. Yeah. So this is max parts. And we need to get this guy down. So, to get that down a little bit further, I think we're going to take the move tool. We're going to bring these fins down a bit. Make those even. And then we'll take this one and we'll move this one down a bit. We'll take these ones and we'll move them down a bit. Ooh, I don't like. It's not looking like we're going to get where we need to be. So my question is, what if instead of 3 of those, we... No. Get off the... Oh, no. Wait, here's what we'll do. Here, watch this. We're gonna do 3. Maybe we will just do 2. Because wherever we move these, that's gonna drag the... Because the bulk of the weight that we're working to work with, the bulk of that weight is in the hammers themselves, the engines. Right like that. And then when we take it, when we drop it, ooh, I don't like that. Because what's going to end up happening is as we go, we're going to be shedding weight from bottom, and our center of mass is going to move up higher. Because as you see, when we put this on, our center of mass drops way down. But from this situation, we can put 2 more fins on. And what I want to do is probably do something like this. We will do that. And we'll take another set of fins. And yeah, look at that. If we do that, we start balancing out better. It's still not where I would very much like it to be. But I think if we just move these up a little bit more, and then move these down, move these ones down 1, and that'll put us in a much more stable situation, except for the fact that when we drop this stage, when we drop our boost, when we drop our solid fuel stage, here's what's going to end up happening. Watch this, watch this, watch this now. Once we drop the solid fuel stage, everything changes, just like that. Now, it's not perfect, but we might be able to pull it off. Which I think I'm willing to put Val on the line. What do you think, Val? Okay, we're gonna do it. Let's do it. Here we go. All right. We are all set. We're ready for launch. Here we go. I just hope I didn't overcook that. Maybe see if I can get it pointing down a little bit more. There, okay, okay, okay. No, 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 I overcooked. I overcooked. With the amount of hours I have in this game, I have no business overcooking my grav turns. But we'll go ahead. We'll reset that launch. That was horribly overcooked. Why are you? You shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't be like that. You're not supposed to be like that. There we go. All right. Everything's oriented in the proper way. So we'll throttle up. We'll do our SAS. We don't have any new science to be collecting, so let's go. And let's be less overcooked. See, we need to get forward momentum going. Because that's what's going to really be the thing that establishes orbit. So if we start to just gently pull down, gently pull down, gently pull down, our speed's gonna help us. But we have all of our speed is going in the up. So we want to come this way. And we want to start adding our horizontal yeah. As you see now, we're pushing around, we're pushing around, we're pushing around, we're pushing around. We point down. Just a little. We ran out. So, that is a flight profile. We went up really fast. All of our delta V, in fact, the overwhelming majority of our delta V went into going up as opposed to going forward. So we're going to try this one more time. We're going to revert the flight. And I think we're going to revert it to launch. And we're going to try to cook it a little bit more. And we're going to delay our stage firing. So watch this one now. Get cooked. There. All right. And let's see, how high will that take us? We want to be down at about... I kind of think that if we wait till we just naturally hit 90 degrees before we hit our next burn... Because right now we're up 10,000 meters. So, if we wait till we hit 90 degrees before we hit the Reliant, and we come to the overmap, we can see that we are getting a much more efficient flight profile. Our apoapsis is going up, which we like to see. And we want that to be over 70,000. Let's see if we can pull up a little bit more. So we can get a little bit... no, we can't. So we're at 37, 39, 40s. We're going to hit... not quite where we need to be. Let's see. What we can do to monitor our apoapsis from this screen is we can go into maneuver mode. And you can see there, I can see my apoapsis not where I want it. So, what I'm going to do now is to conserve efficiency. I am going to wait till I am pointing prograde, and I am going to then pop it. And you can see right down here in this little corner of the screen, you can see this number's going up 70, we'll go 75, 76. So, now all we got to do is we just got to get up here to our apoapsis, and we will very likely have what we need to fully circularize this orbit. And that'll be great. So let's see what we got going on. What we can do is we can do observe mystery goo. Observe the goo. Keep it. Get me a crew report from upper atmosphere. Upper atmosphere. Very good. Keep the experiment. And then all we got to do is just wait till we pass that line into orbit. And where's that? Because once we get like 25 seconds away, which I can't see that. I can't tell that. I can't tell where I'm at in terms of how long it's going to take me, because usually I measure that by time. So I'll wait till like 25 seconds to apoapsis, but I don't have that information available to me, so I gotta really think about this now. I think here, you can see we are burning pretty efficiently, and you look down there, our periapsis. The closer we are to the apoapsis, when we hit burn, the more impactful it's going to be on our periapsis when we burn at apoapsis. Which is why I usually wait till I'm like 25 seconds away. But like I said, I don't know how far away I am from it, but I'm gonna try really hard just to go right on ahead, get way up there. I know I have the thrust to weight ratio for this. And boom, we're going to push our apoapsis ahead a little bit. And we're going to catch back up to it. And this is not efficient in any means. But it's working. Push out, realign, come in, push out. And there we go. We have a stable orbit. Our periapsis is in space. Our apoapsis is in space. We could come out. We can do some science. We know what we're doing. We got this. Look at us go, chat. Observe the mystery goo. Keep our experiment. We're good. We are good. We are so good. So, that was it. That was all the contract wanted us to do, was just to get up here and put it into an orbit. So now what we can do, because we have 393 meters per second. And our orbital velocity right now is 2276.8 meters per second. All we got to do is bring it down below 2200. And I think instead of bringing our periapsis down right now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for us to come around to the periapsis. And then when we get to periapsis, what we're going to do is we're going to do a retrograde burn to bring down the apoapsis and forcibly swap apoapsis for periapsis just by manipulating our orbital speeds. And we're going to see how that goes for our flight profile on the return. Because we actually had it. That even though I was not very efficient about parking into our orbit, it was a very efficient ascent. All things considered, this was a very, very, very good flight for us, given my history. I'm not gonna lie, you saw me do this in 3 takes. Usually I'm doing upwards of 20. And that is largely because flight balancing issues. How am I looking? No, come here. Alright, let's take a look. How much electric charge do we have? Okay. As long as we don't touch anything, we have enough electric charge to get all the way back over here to our periapsis. And when we get to our periapsis, when we make that burn, if I come in here and I click on this, I'm pretty sure that there is an alternator. Yeah, alternator output, right there. You see that? Alternator output. So, when we burn this engine, we will recover electric charge. And because when you run things, like if you turn the lights on, like here, I'll show you this stuff. Look at this, watch this. When we bring this up, okay, this one down here, electric charge. So you see there, we got 48.37 out of 50. Well, watch what happens when I turn on the lights. And when I turn on SAS. You can see, it just dropped down from 0.37 to 0.36. See, that was me running both of them because, you know, the lights aren't exact. There's only one little light bulb in there. It's not exactly the most heavy of strains upon our electric systems. But when we run the two of them together, it's about 0.01 every 2 seconds. I think that's about how long it took us to drop down by the 0.01. Like, what was it? Like 2 seconds? Here, let's see. I'll put them both on again. Lights, SAS, and let's see. Oh, wow, that is a very slow charge. That is a very slow. That is a slower drain than I thought it was. That's like, what is this, like 15 seconds? It was like what? 10 mission time was at what? 10 minutes 4 seconds. When I turned him back on, and it hasn't drained. It hasn't dropped yet. However, a slow trickling drain over the course of days, over the course of months. Maybe you run a mission that ends up taking 10 years for some reason. The longer that the mission is, the longer that you have stuff running, the more time it has to drain. So, yeah, I have had it happen on other playthroughs, other files that wound up. Oh my god! Wait, well, oh no, I don't have tracking, so I can't check that because I wanted to see what my eccentricity was with the Mun, because the Mun actually in this game has a perfect equatorial orbit. Can I? No, I can't do anything. I can't do nothing. I was gonna bring up the Mun, and set it as a target. What I was gonna do with that is I was thinking that I would take a look, because you look at like how I said, it has a perfectly circular orbit in this game, and it doesn't. I don't think it does, but it has a perfectly equatorial orbit. And as you can see here, our orbit does not deviate all that much. Like, there might only be like less, there might be less than a full degree of what's the word? Eccentricity between relative eccentricity. I don't know. But regardless, this is a very, very, very equatorial orbit. It is so close. I am proud of myself for this one. Like, I did this. I wasn't actually trying on any of this. I'm gonna be honest with you. This was a very low effort. Like, you saw me. I slapped this thing together. It's one of the sloppiest ones I've done. I actually restrained myself, because usually what I'll do is I'll upgrade the VAB, I'll upgrade the launch pad. I'll set it up so that way I can have a much bigger rocket than would typically be expected, so that way I can have more fuel. I can over-engineer. Over-engineering is my favorite thing to do. I love to over-engineer for the task at hand. And in doing so, you end up with more than you ever need, so you end up getting money back. You have a nice little safety cushion to fall back on if something goes wrong when you're in orbit, or maybe you, for some reason, you used 9.83 as your gravitational constant when you were doing everything, instead of rounding up to 10, because if you take your gravitational constant when you are working on designing the rocket, and if you you round it up from the actual gravitational constant, which, let me double check that for you, because I'm pretty sure it's like a 9.8. Let's quickly look up what is the gravitational constant of Kerbin. The answer for that is 9.8 meters per second squared, which is 1 g, which is what it actually is on Earth. That is Earth gravity. Our gravitational constant is, in fact, 9.81 meters per second squared. However, it is considered a great idea to round it up to 10, because if you round it up to 10, you end up naturally engineering safety cushions. You naturally end up having a little bit more fuel than you probably need. And I don't know about you, but if my feet are coming up off the ground in a spaceship that's going out of out of our atmosphere. I'd rather not be coming home on a dry tank, if you know what I mean. But we are actually going to be a little bit dry on this tank, because actually no, we're gonna be coming back with a fair bit of Delta V, because it's not gonna take very much to drop this apoapsis down from 77 to like 68, 69, maybe even like I don't know 6, 7. Ah! I said the funny. It's what the kids say. I found a way to work in a 6-7. I did 6-7. I did 6-7. I know what's funny. I know stuff. But yes, it doesn't take much to drop down from 77 kilometers to less than 70,000 kilometers when you have like 393. It's a very small ellipsism to the orbit. And you know, I usually I would time warp through doing all of this. But I'm actually having fun. I'm having fun talking about all of this because this is fun to me. Like, how could you not have fun throwing together a rocket, putting it out on the launch pad, and then sending it up into space? That is the most fun you could possibly have with a science fiction space game. Like, yeah, sure, there's Space Engineers, which is another game that we're eventually going to be playing on this channel. But Kerbal Space Engineers does it in such a way that it's an intuitive build process where, like, you have an entire Lego set at your disposal to build the rocket, balance it, ensure you go to college, you get yourself a degree as a rocket scientist. I'm not doing that. But if you did do that, all of the science that you use as a rocket scientist is accurate to this game. Like, I have seen so many documentaries where they're going to like NASA or they're going to ESA. There was one that I saw in the about India's space program, where in the background when they're talking about training the astronauts for extravehicular activities, and they're talking about training them in how to use the omnidirectional movement packs on their back. I have no idea what they're actually called, but using their little boosty boys. A lot of times, I've seen Kerbal Space Program in the background on a monitor because they were using Kerbal Space Program to practice how to move around during spacewalks using the propulsion packs or propulsion backpacks. I want to call them jet packs. If we're not calling those big bulky backpacks that the astronauts get, and they got omnidirectional facing thrusters to scoot around and move around and change their vectors, their velocity, all of that shit. Ah! I said a dirty word. On stream, I'm not supposed to do that. But they were using Kerbal Space Program to do it. And with it being so accurate of a space sim, like it was absolutely no surprise to me at all to see it in the background on a monitor at these space agencies. Oh boy. We're coming up on that periapsis. It shouldn't take us too long. I don't even get to know what my orbital period is. Ugh. I'm not calculating that. Acting like I got a degree or something. I don't got no degree. I'm an amateur. 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 But before we hit that, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to doing game stuff. So we are going to very quickly go back to the Space Center. And now that we are back at the Space Center, we're going to come back over here. And look at this, look at this, look at this. No active. Archived. But we can come down here, explore Kerbin, and it says, this mission here wants us just to return to Kerbin from orbit. So all we gotta do is just take that. We got a mission for explore Kerbin, return from Kerbin orbit. So what we'll do is we'll go over here to our tracking station, and we will go back to Susan. Hi, Susan. Oh, I'm so happy to see you again. All right. And how far away are we from our periapsis? We are getting there. We are getting there. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this locked up. So that way we can watch apoapsis from here while seeing how far away we are from the periapsis. And I think that right about now is where we're going to get ourselves all lined up for this controlled burn. We're going to get ourselves oriented retrograde, which is the opposite of prograde. And what we're going to do here is we are just going to ever so gently burn a nice little soft... Oh, wow. You guys saw what the, what our thruster rate ratio was in the VAB. It's like 3.4 something, I think. Let's see. Oh, keep going. Take nice little controlled little puffy bursts. A little poof, poof. And another little poof. See, we didn't even spend barely any delta V at all. And we are already just about on a re-entry path. And so, here we go. Actually, no, what we should do... Oh, no. Oh. I don't want to be going that hard on myself. But there's our periapsis there. Now our periapsis is just about right over the space agency. And let's bring it down to like the 50s. Yeah, right. No, I said bring it down to the 50s. 49.76 kilometers is not. There. Yeah, that's acceptable. We'll go with that. We'll do 50,000 for the new periapsis. So now all we gotta do is we just gotta get over there. There we go. We got some electric charge there. So what we'll do when we hit our periapsis is that's where we're going to, and what we want is we really want to be, okay, so we're a little bit past apoapsis. We want to be facing like that. That's the way we want to be. If we go like that, we should end up already oriented just about the right way that we want to be when we come into the atmosphere and we start re-entering, because we're going to want to come in engines first. We leave orbit with the cockpit first. When we come back into orbit, we do it engines first. And that's just for a vertical rocket. We can have other kinds of other means of other kinds of lift. We could make a VTOL. We could make. We are already back in atmosphere. The music stopped on us. So let's get ourselves oriented for the re-entry phase right there, like that. And we're gonna see how much do we overheat. Let me just get that. Okay. Because I want to be able to keep an eye on my electric charge. It's because of where we're at. And I did do them in space, right? Yeah. So we did upper atmosphere, we did in space. Let me really quickly review the report. Upper atmosphere, so we still have a good bit to go. A lot of stuff to do. But we are going places and doing things. But now, it's time to pay attention to what we're doing. Because on this re-entry, things could get hot. See, our fins are starting to heat up. We could reorient and give ourselves real quick boost. There we go. See, when the camera reorients itself like that, that means that you've changed your paradigm. So we no longer have orbital velocity. And that was part of the reason why I put the periapsis down into the atmosphere as low as I did, because we can use the atmosphere and the resistance that it poses against us moving through it as a braking medium to make a little conservation of fuel. So we can bring a little bit back. I think that we'll set ourselves up here at 20. And then when we get back to a retrograde orientation, we'll do another quick burst. So you can see we're already down to 15. And what did that bring our periapsis down to? Oof. That really brought it down. Because, yeah, you can see there apoapsis and periapsis is dropping. 10 degrees above horizon. Anti-horizon. I mean, we're facing retrograde, so that, well, no, because we are facing, that would still be horizon. Right? Your anti-horizon is always behind you. Your horizon's always ahead. Is that how it works? Nobody knows. We're coming up on the periapsis I had originally set. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to wait for our fins to start overheating. And we're gonna use our engine braking to survive the thicker atmosphere. Although I suppose I could my, that is about to pop. I could just drop that stage now. And then I would have a better braking surface area from the underside of the command pod. So I think I'll go ahead and I'll hold on to it for just a little bit longer, because I might need to do some engine braking to keep my mystery goose from going boom. But we'll find out. We'll find out. We'll find out. So here we are. We're starting to burn up. We're getting that atmospheric friction. Friction, as Mr. Cytopants likes to say. Cytopants? Cytopants? Who knows? I don't. Who am I to claim to know the ways of the mysterious frogman? Kaboom! Alright. Well, the mystery goos are not heating up, so I think they're going to survive without issue. And we are slowing down, but I want to guarantee a splash landing. I want to guarantee splashdown. So I think maybe when the engine starts to overheat. But I don't think it's going to overheat. Oh, engine's starting to overheat, and so is that first fuel tank. It's getting toasty. Yeah, we're getting the overheat warning on the staging now. Hold. Hold. Wait for it. Wait for it. Hold. And fire. fire! Look at it go! Alright, we want to be facing this way. Ooh, we got a nice... We did that nice. No, 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 no. No, come on. Let's go ahead and let's... There we go. That's going to give us some drag to help slow us down. But I don't know if this game will actually calculates the deployed chute before it engages. I don't know if it actually, like... I don't know if the game actually calculates that. But we did it in an hour and a half without time warp. Here we go. And we are going to land oriented back the way we were when we... There went the engine! We're oriented exactly as we were when we left. We have, there we go. Nice, soft landing coming in. Where we're now just gonna float down nice and gentle. Here we go. So, as long as this landing goes off without a hitch, which I can already tell you, yeah, we got this. We're gonna survive this landing, no problem. We're looking at sea level right now up there. There we go. We landed. We survived. So, my guess is that the answer to the question, whether or not a cat girl can into space, the answer is yeah. Definitely a yeah. Let's take our data. Ooh, I want to collect the data here. Remove the data. Let's collect the data. No. Collect the data here. Remove the data. I don't think we can take a surface sample, can we? No, we cannot take surface samples yet. So we'll be looking into that at another time. But we do want to take our crew report from landing. So this counts as being in the deserts, even though this is kind of green-ish. Let's zoom out. Yeah, that's considered desert right here. This whole area right here. This is probably all of this is desert, and if I am not mistaken, we are all set to come back. Let's recover that vessel. So overall, sitting pretty at 87 science, I think we done diddly did it. We got this. We got all of this stuff. Look at that, look at that, look at that. We got 87 science. Got some money back. And Valentina is now level 1. So, when I turn on the SAS, as long as she's the one in the control seat, when I turn on the SAS, I'll be able to tell her, hey, point us prograde, hey, point us retrograde, and I don't have to do a thing. Which, I'm quite happy about that. I like that. I'm always happy when a Kerbal levels up. So, let's go ahead and let's take a look at our science center. We have 87.5 science to spare. And I think what we're gonna go for... See, we need advanced construction, but that itself is 90. We also need fuel systems, which also is 90. So we have those as targets. But I think what I want to do first is I may just want to get down here. Where were batteries? No, there. So, because our next goal is going to be to the Mun. But what we really want is we want wheels. Where do we find wheels first? Here, in aviation. So what I think we're going to do is I think we're going to take stability. And I think we're going to take aviation. No, we are going to take aviation. Because that's going to let me set up something that's really useful for gameplay reasons. And finally, we're going to take survivability. And all of that is going to be very useful for us in the next episode of Kerbal Space Program, which is when we are going to start focusing on, I would assume, the Mun. Yes! So, the next time that we come in to play Kerbal Space Program, we're going to be working on completing a flyby of the Mun. And doesn't that sound exciting? Interesting. Fun. Quick save. No, we're going to save you as stream file. There we go. We now know for a fact that we are saved. So, with that, that's going to conclude Kerbal Space Program for tonight. We got where I wanted to. We did what I wanted to. Everything's all... everything Kerbin bound is neatly packed up and done. We don't have to worry about any... We did orbit. We did first vessel. We broke atmosphere. We collected science. We did all of the easy stuff. So, next up, as I've been saying, when we come back to this game, the next time we revisit it, I think what we'll be doing is we'll be doing all the Mun. Just focus on the Mun. And from there, we will continue on. But that is going to conclude the Kerbal Space Program for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut the stream here. Whether or not I come back, I don't know. I might. If I do, you can people who are in my Discord, you will get a notification saying that I have a new stream coming up, that I am doing another stream, and y'all are gonna come, and then I'm gonna be a famous streamer, and I can never have to do another dirty job again. Woo! All right, so as I was saying, that's all for today. I'm gonna talk to you all later. I'll see you all later. I hope you all have a wonderful day and a wonderful evening and a wonderful night and a wonderful afternoon and whatever time it is. I hope it's very wonderful for you. That being said, I'm done. I'm leaving. I mean, this kitty, this little kitty's got to take a little break. So I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.